Hello, so I drew Team Sonic as people in my style. That means Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. And this is like a really unscripted explanation of how I did that. So yeah, let's get into it. So first, obviously Sonic, the blue one. I just knew I wanted to make him look a bit annoying. He is very much like annoying teenager, I guess. Annoying but lovable protagonist or whatever. From the sketch, this is what I can tell you. I decided to give him like racing goggles, because he's a racer. His whole outfit is going to be very like racing inspired, like race car inspired, even though he runs and he does not have a car. Same. Anyway, I gave him like a pointy ass nose because he has a pointy nose. I went a lot back and forth with these designs on how natural I wanted to make their hair, like if I wanted to make it look like it was physically possible or close to the cartoon. And I went with making it look very animated because I don't know, I like the silhouette and it doesn't have to be realistic always. I mean, he has hedgehog ears. Like, also looking at the sketch, I am gonna put in a lot of like checkerboard designs. I was inspired by these trousers that you see. The colors are perfect, like this is literally Sonic colors. I'm gonna put like a little classic Sonic as his little belt accessory, and he's gonna have like, how on racing jackets there's like the sponsors and stuff, he's gonna have those. I also like spiced up his running shoes because what is that, you know what I mean? I don't know, I did a bunch of stars. Like the main inspiration for that was like the Bape shoes, and yeah, I had to put the ring in somehow, so I gave him a little earring. There he goes. I think Sonic is about like 14, 15, but he looks maybe like 16-ish in this design, I think. Next is Tails. So Tails is a child. That is the first thing. Make him look as boyish as possible, as little as possible. So I was going with like pilot, because he flies kind of like a helicopter. So then I gave him goggles and like the aviator hat and the jacket and these parachute pants. Oh my god, I love the parachute pants. They just look so baggy. But because he's like the smart one, he gets put in these like adult responsibilities, like being the engineer of the group. So I wanted to kind of make the design look like a child who is trying to like almost cosplay as a grown-up. I also gave him like a little utility belt because he's the tech guy. And a missing tooth. Oh my god. And freckles. I don't know, I feel like he should have freckles. Next is Knuckles. Oh my god, I really like shot myself in the foot because I gave him this perspective of like of punching towards the screen. It looks cool, that's why I wanted to do it, but oh my god, I hate foreshortening. So he's gonna be obviously a more like triangular design because even his original design is a lot more triangular. He's spiky, he's got the spiky gloves, spiky nose, spiky mouth, spiky hair, spiky tail. Even his eyes are spiky. He's spiky. He's gonna have a spiky triangular design. I saw this one of like him with glasses and I really liked that, so I put that in his design. His little gloves, of course, and they're like boxing gloves. So then with that I was like, okay, why don't we make this whole design like really boxer inspired? So his shoes are based on like boxing shoes. In the movie he's very attached to Angel Island and it's a lot about like his ancestry and his tribal duties. So I'm gonna put a lot of jewelry on him, and I was looking at like references of the Echidna tribe and stuff. They wear a lot of purple feathers, and because his colors are like very warm, they're mostly like red, bright green and yellow, I think the purple adds a nice contrast. I'm out of breath. So let's line Sonic. Okay, so lining is a bit annoying because it's the part where I have to make the outfit like physically possible. No one is gonna cosplay this fucking outfit, but I have to make the line art with the assumption that someone would want to wear this outfit, and that has to be a possibility. Yeah, there I go, lining everything. And I decided to go with like a thick, nice, shadow pen, something. Tool. I usually do like a more sketchy style kind of line art, but this needs to be very animated and very cartoony, very 2000s. Also, my first exposure to Sonic was Sonic Shorts, so that might have had a hand in this. And then I gave him like the headphones. I don't know, I feel like he's an ADHD teenager that absolutely would not be able to not listen to music while he's going fast or whatever. Don't ask me why I gave him these really thick eyebrows. That's how it's gonna be. On to Tails. This is the one I had the most trouble with making look like it could actually work because there's a lot of like random gadgets and and I gave him this like hook. I think the aim was just to give him as much stuff on his person as possible. Miskeen. And this little patch because I don't know, it's cute. Like he repaired his trousers because he's like flying a lot and probably crashing into stuff. With Knuckles, I went through a lot of like, should I make the hair physically possible, or should I fully make it like the cartoon and just make it spikes? I refuse to give him untextured hair. I think that would look weird. So I gave him these like super thick dreadlocks because I feel like those are the most translatable style that are like reminiscent of Knuckles' spikes. And they're very good for like tying in accessories. And I definitely plan to give him a lot of accessories. The accessories, oh my god, I changed my mind so many times because I wanted to make it look bulky, but also not. Like I didn't want to have too much going on, which then I completely scrapped because I totally had a lot going on in that area later on. But anyway, and of course he's gonna have a lot of bandages because I actually like that about the Sonic Boom design. So now onto the coloring. I did a lot of color picking. I think that makes sense. But then what I did was I was using like the same red across all the designs, which I changed my mind about later because I feel like Tails in particular needs to have like very muted red. His designs are always muted, so I don't think it makes sense for him to have like bright red shoes and a bright red scarf. Guys, there's construction outside and I'm trying not to think about it because it's disrupting my flow. The Sonic outfit was a bit of a nightmare because there's a lot of different segments. So, sorry, I whistled when I... Anyway, there was a lot of different parts. Oh, I can't even avoid it. So it was a lot of me having to choose like where the color was gonna go, and that was really annoying. It was so annoying that I fully abandoned it halfway and was like, I'll get back to that later. And anyway, I went on to Knuckles. I think silver jewelry is the move here. I think he has enough yellow going on as it is, and the glasses are silver, so I'm gonna make his jewelry silver. This is where I really started to hate this belt. Sorry, my leg cracked. And also I decided to give Tails like the muted red because overall his colors are quite earthy. And it just makes sense. Yeah, there's no organization with the coloring. I just keep going back and forth each character. But as you can see, it took me a while to figure out the pattern of Sonic, but I eventually did, so that's good. It took a while to figure out the Knuckles palette as well, because the thing is he's very dominantly made up of 3 colors, and it's like if I put any color of the 3 in the wrong area, it can look overwhelming. Even the shirt, I didn't make it the exact same color as the hair, because then that would be like overwhelming, and it was hard because I know that the body is all the same color, but like I was trying to have a limited color palette, but sometimes it just doesn't work. This is me trying to mathematically plan out how the spikes on the shoe are gonna work. I actually really like the typography of the boxing shorts, and this is again me trying to figure out the color balance, and then I just gave up and I went to do the hair, and then I completely scrapped this Timu looking belt and decided to give him like a belt. I don't know, honestly I don't even know what I was inspired by because he's inspired by boxing, but this looks like a wrestling belt. I don't know if they have belts in boxing, but I wanted to give him a belt because I also wanted to incorporate the like Chaos Emerald, Chaos Emerald, but like specifically the Master Emerald, so it's like a big green jewel. And also it kind of reminds me of like when you lift weights, you have a belt around your waist or whatever. And this is how I shade. Let me let you in on my shading process, guys. Guys, there's the construction. Why do I live in Malta? Oh yeah, my first part of my shading is that I take like a darker version of the color that I choose and I like, shade with it. And I went with kind of like the cell shading thing because I don't want the regular like blending shading. It doesn't work because it's meant to be cartoony. And then, because I don't want like aggressive cell shading, I take an airbrush and I kind of put it on the ends so it's a bit softer. Putting the stripes on this rope was honestly the move. It was a really good idea. So yeah, you can see, especially in like his tail, the 3 segments of shading. So Knuckles, I did the same thing. I added a bit of texture to the hair and even to his shirt because I feel like adding texture to the shirt is going to again differentiate it from the other red parts on his body. And yeah, I don't want overwhelming red, man. And this is my second stage of the shading where I will take like pink. See, this is me putting the pink on all the characters. And then I will make it not a clipping layer anymore. So I can airbrush the ends of them orange. So it's like a nice gradient. And then I put purple and I make that either a darken layer or multiply layer. Again, depends on what looks good. But those are the main colors that I use. Then I gave them the highlights. This is like the design is done. This is just to make it look pretty. Oh yeah, I give them colored line art because I don't like black line art very much. And give them lighting that hopefully makes sense. And that's Team Sonic. Tell me which one you like and who I should do next, if I should do anyone next. Maybe you think like, oh my god, Greta, these designs were disastrous. Don't do any more. But if you don't think that and you do like them, let me know who I should draw next. Ciao, ciao.